have a few opening comments on the game, then we'll take your questions.
I'd like to start with thanking the city of Jacksonville. I think they do a great job of setting up a college atmosphere and pageantry for a game that is really second to none. And our players enjoy playing this environment, playing in this stadium. It's definitely a change up for us. And the mission for us is to play better football, to keep moving towards our best and be as good as we can be. And we continue to take steps in that direction. We find a way every game to show glimpses of mistakes, but also show glimpses of promise. I'm proud of the seniors. I'm proud of the toughness and resiliency they showed in some tough times today when we had a turnover and had a goal line stand. But very happy for the effort and the toughness they showed in the off week and the work they put in to get the rewards today.
Kirby, how big was the explosive plays from offense? Or, it got really put a lot of pressure off the defense playing so well with, great blocking, especially on Michelle's touchdown run.
Yeah, I think anytime you start fast, I think it says a lot about, your game plan, the energy level of the kids, the preparation. When you come out and start fast like that, it has a big effect. And, most games aren't that way. But when you come out like that, it gives everybody a little more energy, a little more confidence. And like I always say, it's usually hard to run the ball early. And we had some success, and a lot of that goes to Coach Chaney and the offensive staff. I mean, they put together a good plan. It's more than just running the same plays we always run. There was different plays in there by design, and I thought it caught Florida a little off guard.
Coach, how have you seen this offense just kind of change over the last year? I mean, this game last year, 19 carries for 21 yards.
Well, some of that Florida changed. They don't have some of the same guys up front that they had last year. Still got good players up front. Got a really good player in 93 who's probably one of the hardest guys to block in college football. So it says a lot about what our guys were able to do to improve. It says a lot that they respect, Fromm, and he makes them respect him with some throws. I feel like the wideouts are making some plays outside to loosen things up. But all that, second year in the system, offensive line's getting some movement, good backs.
Coach, what did your kids show you in a big game where they are expected to win? Everybody, the fan base especially. Sometimes that's not the easiest thing in the world to do with all that kind of expectation and pressure, but what did your kids show you today in fulfilling that kind of expectation for this game?
Just what we told them. The present affects the present. Past doesn't affect the present. Anything that's happened here before, what does that have to do with this team? It has nothing to do with this team. And they talked a long time this off week about owning their burden, the burden of being a highly ranked team, to being the favorite. Own the burden with your work and let it pay off on Saturdays. And they've done that.
Coach, the offense failed to score after the first 7.5 minutes and back out of the first half. What kind of adjustments did you make to get them back on the board in the second half?
I think opportunities, execution. We had some things that we stopped ourselves, and we like to think that our best is still ahead of us, but we have to continue to work to go and get better. And the only way you're going to do that is have guys totally buy into that. So it's nothing that they did or we did. It's just execution, and when we do that, we have a chance to be successful.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Jim McElwain? What he's gone through this week and all that. What are your thoughts about him?
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Jim and his family. I'm very close to him and his family, and I think a lot of him. I think he's a really good football coach. As far as anything else, I'm not concerned with.
Florida got a little bit more on the ground than most teams have been able to do against you guys. Can you talk about what went into that? You guys been improving on to kind of stop that? Yeah,
tackling. We got a lot of sloppy tackling. We don't top off. We don't knock back. They got a lot of push. A lot of area for improvement when it comes to that. And we've got to do a lot of work to improve to stop the ground game of other teams. But the number one thing is tackling, swarm to the ball, knock off. Got to do a much better job of that. And that was my disappointment in the first half.
Kirby, what did the pass rush to sort of return to form tonight? It was one of the best games in quite a while for the pass rushers on your team.
Yeah. Again, that's not like a magical, we just put a bunch of stuff in a jar and then did it. We worked hard on it. We tried to improve on it. You guys are a lot more concerned with that than I am. I'm a lot more concerned with affecting the quarterback. And I don't even know how many sacks we had, but I know we couldn't finish on the guy. We should have had a couple more. But that's not what we measure success by. At the end of the day is how many points are on that board. And that's what we're trying to prevent.
Kirby, I know past is the past, but you know that Tennessee and Florida are obviously two East rivals that Georgia needs to deal with each year. You beat them 83-7 this year. Did you think that was...
Yeah, I'm worried about South Carolina, to be honest with you. So the focus is on the Gamecocks and what we can do to get ready for them at this point. And that's really all we're worried about because they got a good football team.
Kirby, one of your defensive players said that some of the guys on defense sort of came in angry, but they played disciplined and so they had a controlled anger in this game. Is that what you've sort of been striving for as a head coach?
For them to play angry? For the players to play angry?
Disciplined and controlled anger.
I think you want controlled aggression. We talk about, being the more physical team, being toughness, but we don't want to lose our emotions because in this game, as I remember it and recall it, a lot of players make bad decisions and make dumb penalties. So we talk about having controlled aggression. And I thought we played with good discipline, but we didn't tackle the way we're supposed to. We didn't strike the way we're supposed to. We didn't get guys on the ground the way we're supposed to. And like you said, it was a result of a lot of rushing yards.
When a couple of Florida players had said stuff during the week, did you remind them just, don't fire back verbally?
Now, leadership group handles that. I mean, I've gotten to the point I don't really have to anymore. They understand. They know that we do our talking with our helmets. I mean, that's we want to have class. We want to have integrity. We really don't want to be talking to the media about the other team because nothing you should say.
What did the older guys say to the younger guys after that touchdown? It seemed like everybody was still very...
They were pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pissed. I mean, we put guys in, the idea is that they go in and play to a standard, and they didn't do that. And if we'd have had 85 guys here instead of 70, I'd have put 11 other ones in to put other guys in to give them an opportunity to get better. Because we got some guys that we didn't get to bring that could have played better than maybe some of the guys that got to play in those opportunities. And those guys are learning a lesson from the old guys because after the game, the old guys told them, go to class, listen in walkthroughs, pay attention because you're the next guy up. And I don't think some of them acknowledge that, and that's my frustration with it.
Kirby, you've now got a 4,000-yard career rusher and a 3,000-yard career rusher on your roster. How unique in this day and age is it to have that?
It's tough. It's tough in the SEC. I mean, I don't know. Y'all would know the stats better than me, but to do that in the SEC is a non-rushing league. It is hard to run the ball in the SEC. So for those two young men to do that, I think it speaks volumes to them and their careers and the previous staff here and our staff. I mean, because those guys have worked hard to get that. Those things don't come easy.
Kirby, you emphasized non-offensive touchdowns. How big was the scoop and score that McGee and Reed pulled off?
Long overdue. Long overdue. We felt we've been close several times this year. We've been emphasizing it, and I think Coach Tucker and the defensive staff do a tremendous job. They show the non-offensive touchdowns from the SEC every week on, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday in the meeting, and it's really cool because you see everybody else score, but we haven't been on there. So now we get to be on there, and the guys will be all jacked up in the meeting to get to watch it.
Do you find it challenging as the weeks go on now to find new ways to challenge this team and keep them focused, especially when at least one of the goals you want is coming quicker?
It's a challenge every week. I mean, the challenge exists in playing in the SEC, so all the other stuff is a distraction. The focus is South Carolina. That's a challenge in and of itself. We know what kind of football team they got. We know they've got really good athletes, so we focus on the challenge that's in front of us, not the one that exists around us.
Kirby, as a guy who played in this game yourself, how do you feel for those seniors? You asked them to stand up at the beginning of the week if they beaten Florida, nobody did, and now they can.
Yeah, I think the best they could do, I told them, you can't make up for 3 years' time, and people are going to remember you by your record. But the best thing you can do is be 1-0 against Florida your senior year. And they committed to that, and they challenged the younger players to practice the right way and focus on it, and tried to make it about how we play and getting better and not about all the other distractions involved with the game.
Kirby, when it came to the running game and some of the new things you mentioned, how much of that had to do with, I guess, Dyshon and Alden played a lot of tight end and were blocking, were able to get some edge blocks. I mean, how effective were they out there?
They were effective, but they really didn't, and those were not the explosive runs, as I remember. We had a couple runs with them in there, and I thought it was a good addition to get a little more lead in our pencil with those guys in there, and good change up. But there was a couple design plays that Jim, Sam, the offensive staff came up with that really affected Florida and helped us. And sometimes those new wrinkles can help you.
Lorenzo Carter, I think he had 4 straight plays over the first 2 series that really kind of helped set the tempo for the defense. Just about the job he continues to do for you guys on a consistent basis.
Yeah, Lorenzo's a talented player. He works really hard, and he continues to grow as a player. And I don't think his best has been reached yet. I think his best is still ahead of him, and that's the goal for all of us.
How does this win as a coach compare to the one you won as a player in '97?
I think when you talk about coaching and your whys, the players, and you want to give back to them, that's what it's all about. I mean, I don't remember that one in '97 much at all. This one is much more important. The senior class who has bought in to our regime and bought in to a change in staff, and to have them get some success and rewards in this game, I think is really positive.
After the issues in the red zone last season, how nice is it to see your team make a stop on the 2-yard line down the second quarter?
I can't tell you. That's the proudest I've been, because Coach Tucker's been just beaten. The great defenses always have a goal line stand. Great defenses always have some big moment where they get a goal line stand. And if you track our goal line, not red zone, goal line, we have not been very good on the goal line. And he actually talked about it last night in the defensive meeting, and he challenged them, said, you're going to have an opportunity to have a goal line stand, and I'll be danged if they didn't do it. And I thought that was a really big moment in the game, along with the turnover stop in the game. So I thought the defense was once again resilient, but not pleased with the play at all.
When Jake came out late after those couple delayed game penalties, was that at all you trying to send a message to him when he came out after those 2?
No, that was just so y'all wouldn't ask me why Jacob didn't play. So I figured you guys wanted to hurry up and get him in before y'all asked. That's all that was.
Last question.
With how the past few games have gone against Florida for the defense, does it make it extra special to see the seniors on defense go out, not just with a win, but with a dominating defensive performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's special for all the seniors. It's special for our entire university. It's special for our fan base, who is starving for some success against Florida. And, the past does not affect the present, and we know that. The most important thing for our team is to keep chopping wood, keep moving ahead, and as long as the seniors buy into that, they'll keep us leading us in the right direction. Thank you, guys.